Meanwhile, she's very, very secretive and protective of her family and portrays this.
Dr. Heavenly, a prominent figure married to medicine, has been the center of quite a few heated discussions lately, and it seems like there's much more going on beneath the surface than what she portrays. She has always presented herself as a woman who values family and prides herself on having a perfect marriage with her husband, Dr. Damon. However, the more you dig into the details of her actions and statements, the more questions arise. From claims of using witchcraft to rumors of infidelity, Dr. Heavenly's life is not as flawless as she wants everyone to believe. Let's dive into some of the more questionable aspects of her life and the signals she's been sending that point to some deeply hidden truths. One of the most talked about incidents involving Dr. Heavenly is the time she hit her husband Damon in the head with a frying pan. This isn't some random tale from her past, but a part of her history that she's openly shared. According to Dr. Heavenly, this incident happened when they were newlyweds and Damon came home later than she expected. She claims it wasn't a slap, but a full hit, and it occurred while she was cooking eggs. She admitted it, proudly stating, "Yes, I did it," but offered a peculiar justification. She did it because he had been hanging out with his friends, something she apparently couldn't tolerate. Now, hitting someone with a frying pan is extreme, no matter how you look at it. But what's even stranger is the rationale she provides. Damon's late arrival had nothing to do with any lipstick on his collar or suspicious behavior. It was simply that he had been with his fat brothers, his friends. Dr. Heavenly insists that it was her way of letting Damon know she was serious and not someone to mess with. This may sound like an isolated incident, but there's more to it when you consider the other strange behaviors and actions she's displayed over time. Dr. Heavenly has frequently talked about how important it is to stick by your man and be supportive of your spouse, especially when times are tough. She's even gone as far as to claim that if Damon ever cheated on her, she would stand by him and not let the world know about it. That's an incredibly curious stance for someone who prides herself on having a perfect marriage. Why would she make such a statement unless, in the back of her mind, she knew something was off in her relationship? Or perhaps it's a subconscious justification for behavior that has already happened. The strange thing about this statement is that she's constantly out there talking about how other women should handle their husbands, while in her own life, there might be things she's either glossing over or unwilling to admit. If Dr. Heavenly's marriage is as perfect as she portrays, why would she even entertain the idea of supporting her husband through infidelity? This is especially suspicious because she's always quick to throw shade at other couples on the show, dissecting their marriages and offering unsolicited advice. If everything is so great in her relationship, then why does she focus so much on the issues of others? It's almost as if she's trying to deflect attention from her own situation. One of the most unsettling things Dr. Heavenly has said regarding infidelity happened when she mentioned that if Damon cheated, it would be the woman's fault and not his. This statement alone raised a lot of eyebrows, but it also provided more insight into her mindset. It's almost as though she's trying to absolve Damon of any potential wrongdoing, making excuses for actions that could potentially hurt her. This is further supported by her aggressive defense of him when others try to criticize or question his behavior. She's quick to defend him, but the deeper question is, why does she need to defend him so much? Is there something she's trying to protect or hide? There's also a more chilling angle to consider when you take into account Dr. Heavenly's claims of doing nasty things to keep her man. In a conversation about how to keep a husband, she mentioned that she cooks for him, but not just any meal. She makes spaghetti and puts a little something in it. This wasn't just about good cooking, though. Her use of the phrase, "put a little something in it," sent a strong message. Could she be implying that she's using some sort of magical or supernatural means to ensure Damon stays with her? There's an eerie undercurrent here that suggests she may be resorting to witchcraft to manipulate her husband's behavior. This is where things take a dark turn. Dr. Heavenly has often made offhand comments about having powers or knowledge that others don't, and this latest remark about putting something in her food only adds to the suspicion that she's playing with forces beyond the ordinary. Many viewers have noticed the inconsistencies in her narrative. She claims to be a devoted and supportive wife, yet her actions often speak louder than her words. She's talked about using witchcraft or something akin to it in her relationship, and while some might brush these comments off as nothing more than playful banter, it's clear that there's something deeper at play. Dr. Heavenly's behavior and language suggest that she's trying to exert control over her marriage and manipulate the dynamics of her relationship. And when you mix in her claims about keeping her man with nasty things, it begins to paint a much more sinister picture. Another perplexing element of Dr. Heavenly's persona is how she portrays her family as being perfect, all while fiercely protecting their privacy. While she's quick to spill the tea on others and criticize other women's relationships, she remains exceptionally secretive about her own family. It's as if she's crafting this idealized image of her life while keeping the real story under wraps. In fact, it seems that her private life may not be as perfect as she wants everyone to believe. She may be intentionally keeping certain aspects of her life hidden, choosing to control the narrative and avoid scrutiny. This secrecy extends to her children as well. While Dr. Heavenly has 2 sons, they have been conspicuously absent from the show in recent seasons. What's particularly interesting is the way Dr. Heavenly treats her children as though they are off limits, suggesting that there is something in their lives that she doesn't want exposed. This constant need for control over her family's image is concerning, as it hints at deeper issues she's trying to keep out of the public eye. There are also claims that Dr. Heavenly's husband, Damon, has a preference for white women, something that Mariah, another cast member, has hinted at on multiple occasions. This insinuation raises even more questions about the dynamics of Dr. Heavenly's marriage. Mariah has pointed out that she knows exactly what type of woman Damon likes, and she didn't stop there. She doubled down on the claim, making it clear that this wasn't just a random comment. Dr. Heavenly's reaction to these accusations has been defensive and dismissive, but there's something telling in the way she brushes off these allegations. It's almost as if she's trying to protect Damon, even if it means covering up uncomfortable truths about his preferences or behaviors. One of the most shocking pieces of tea to surface about Dr. Heavenly came from Mariah, who revealed that Damon had begged her not to expose certain receipts that could potentially destroy his marriage. This wasn't something Mariah wanted to do, but she made it clear that she wasn't going to let someone's perfect image overshadow the reality of what was going on behind closed doors. She didn't want to air out dirty laundry, but her loyalty to the truth pushed her to reveal what she knew. And the most surprising part of this revelation was that Dr. Heavenly seemed to know about these receipts all along, which made her defense of Damon even more complicated. In conclusion, Dr. Heavenly's carefully constructed image of being a perfect wife and mother is beginning to unravel. Between her questionable statements about infidelity, her cryptic comments about witchcraft, and the constant need to defend Damon's actions, it's clear that there's more going on than meets the eye. The perfect marriage she flaunts may be far from perfect, and the cracks are starting to show. As the story continues to unfold, we can only wonder what other secrets Dr. Heavenly is hiding and whether her carefully curated persona will withstand the growing scrutiny. It's clear that there's much more to her life than what she's willing to admit, and as the layers peel back, the truth might be far more complicated than anyone could have imagined.